Good evening and welcome to this episode of Breaking News. My name is David Corcoran and this is our episode for November 20, 2022. It's been an interesting start to the Toastmasters year, and as I'm sure all of our clubs out there are feeling, we need to find new members. Over the 2 years of the pandemic, it certainly has appeared that numbers have dropped, not only in our District 109, but also globally. And it's time to think about how can we talk up Toastmasters? How can we get more members involved in our clubs to join, to participate, and to really reap the benefits of the Toastmasters experience? And tonight I'll be talking to 3 of the newest Toastmasters from my club, Club 551, who have agreed to come on board. Before I get there, though, I'd like us to consider, as District 109, how do you get new members? So remember, we are live. Just let me get that banner. We are live. So please, if you're commenting, if you can comment, interact with us as we go through tonight's episode. Where do you find new members from is always a challenge. And the wonderful Toastmasters.org website is a great place to start. Now, of course, here's a screenshot where you can find a club near you. Great for Toastmasters who want to join, but also great when you're traveling. So I can tell you that this will be my last broadcast episode of Breaking News for 2022. We still have 2 more episodes to come. They will be done by my colleagues in our PR team for Breaking News. But I am going to Australia, where I'm from, if you didn't already know. And so I looked up 2 clubs today using the Find a Club feature, and I've since contacted them knowing where I'm staying and looked at the quality of the website of the club. So how many members or potential members do you have in your area who are going to Find a Club as a feature and are thinking about your club? And do you have a good website? So I had a look at a couple of the websites and I judged that as to how which club I would like to participate with. And I found a club that's almost as old, well, older actually by 2 years to my own club, Vienna Club 551. And I do hope to connect with them and maybe even bring you a broadcast or an interview over the coming series of episodes or early next year to remark on my experiences. But of course, a club website can only take you so far. And I write here, you. Word of mouth is absolutely the best form of endorsement. How many people have you talked up Toastmasters to? I'm often asked, what is Toastmasters? Have you got a good answer for those who might be interested? Can you then bring people into your club as guests, for instance? So I want you to consider these 3 things: Toastmasters International, your own club's website and all social media presence, and of course you as a member, a current member of Toastmasters. What are you doing to talk it up? Of course, when you interview, or when you welcome members, I should say, the people I'm going to interview tonight, in fact, are our newest members. And I'm the VPE of my club this year, and we as an officers team are really particular about making sure that that first experience for our members is a good one. And they'll talk about their own feelings and experiences in just a moment. But when you welcome your members, do you make them feel special? Do you give them a Toastmasters pin? I've now got a drawer full of pins, but my first one I've still got. And I often wear it with pride to different events when I'm going about places or perhaps representing Toastmasters in the community. Do you have a pledge ceremony? We do. And we make everybody stand up and read a particular pledge, both from the new members as well as from the existing members. Mentoring, that's a key aspect for me as a VPE. I want to make sure that everyone is mentored with somebody and by someone in the club. So what are you doing towards your own mentoring program? Not just your mentoring pathway, but the actual club environment. And mentoring can be a limited time thing. It doesn't have to be forever, just getting you firstly into the club. Maybe you've got some of your own members who are really engaging, really good, and making sure that everyone feels welcome. So use them in that positive way. And make sure that your newest members can get an opportunity for a first speech as soon as possible. And I'll be asking my guests tonight as well. And of course, we live by these these 4 values: respect, integrity, service, and excellence. So how can you rise to the occasion to really make sure that your voice, your leadership shines through, especially with our newest members? So I'd now like to bring in our newest members. So from Club 551 Vienna here in Austria, I'd like to welcome Toastmaster Pascal, Toastmaster Gabrielle, and Toastmaster Elizabeth. Welcome to the 3 of you to Breaking News. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
It's really a pleasure. And I just said to our viewers, you are our 3 latest Toastmasters. So let's go around the room. I'd like to see this as an informal, impromptu discussion between friends, and we can think about how's your experience been so far. But before we even get there, I'd like you just to introduce yourselves and maybe just say a few words of what you do professionally or what your background is as well. Elizabeth, would you like to go first?
Thank you. Sure. I'm from Colombia and living in Vienna, Austria since 4 years ago. And I got married to a man who is from here. It's why I'm now here. My background, I have been working in finances since I graduated from university more than 15 years ago. And now I'm teaching financial education.
Great. And we all need financial education, especially across the Toastmasters world with many clubs. So that's wonderful. Gabrielle, would you like to go next?
Sure, David. Yeah, hello. My name is Gabriel. I am from Mexico. And as well, living now in Austria. I just moved 1 year ago. I got married as well. And that's the reason why I am here. They say that you go either for love or for work. So yeah, that's the reason. I do procurement and logistics in pharma industry. And well, this is pretty much the background. And yeah, it's
good
like that.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, welcome. Congratulations to you both on your recent marriages then. I think even 4 years ago, it's probably still early in the marriage cycle. Pascal, what about you and your story, please?
Well, I'm originally from Belgium. We are living here 4 years now. The reason we came here is not a marriage, because we married in Germany. So I was 18 years in a concern and a big organization. And since 4 years, I'm self-employed. So I'm the managing director of the Golden Space, which is a holistic organization. And I'm a specialist in helping managers how to deal with toxic personalities.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, there aren't too many, well, not very many toxic personalities in Toastmasters, certainly, but that's wonderful. So, I mean, the 4 of us, really, I'm Australian, so the 4 of us are truly international, and Vienna really is an international city, which is wonderful. And for those who don't know, in Vienna, I think we have around 6 clubs. Certainly in Austria, we have around 13 clubs, 15, 16 in our Division F there that we have as well. So thank you all. Now, as our newest Toastmasters, how long have you been a Toastmaster for? Pascal, let's start with you. We'll go back around the circle.
Okay, 2 weeks. So
2 weeks. Yes, yeah. I knew it was so fresh. That's really good. But yeah, good. Gabrielle?
2 weeks as well. But I must say, David, that in Mexico, I was a member of Toastmasters, but after some years, just to say, I rejoined because, yeah, it was time that I had to recover. Yeah, 2 weeks here in Vienna.
Yeah, wonderful. And Elizabeth, how long for you?
As well, 2 weeks since 2 weeks. November. Yeah, I was a guest as a guest here before summer, but just subscribed just in November.
And this is a comment from Laura Filippi, who is our PR manager. Thanks for watching, Laura. Yes, Colombia, Mexico, Belgium, Australia. We have people also, I think, from France, from Italy, from Spain, from many countries and cities, including Vienna, of course. We also have people who are from Vienna. But yeah, we have a very international club, which is wonderful. So I'd like to ask you all, as you said, you came as a guest, Elizabeth, so that's wonderful. But what brought you to Toastmasters, each of you? So was it word of mouth, as I said before? Was it a website? Was it just an interest? I'd like to hear a little bit about your stories about how you found us. Gabriel, would you like to go first?
Sure, David. Well, here in Vienna, I came to Toastmasters because I knew what it was since Mexico. I had to stop like 2 years, but it has this feeling of I want to come back. So I Googled it. I saw where was an available club. I went for a session as a guest, and well, pretty much it was the moment when I say I cannot wait anymore. So yeah, I attend the guest session, and yeah, it just made the link again.
The link, yeah. And while we're on this topic for you, so you had experience in Mexico. Was it a different one here in Vienna or very similar?
It is pretty similar. I mean, there are slight differences in the dynamic of the session, but I think that the core of the session, of the core of Toastmaster is the same. Actually, it was a really nice club as well in Mexico.
Wonderful. And I think that's definitely one of the tenets that you've already remarked on for Toastmasters, is that you should have a very similar experience the world over. I don't know if you heard me say I'm going to Australia. I'm planning on visiting 2 clubs if they write back to me. I've gone to their club websites and connected, and I hope to be able to find the same experience and also come as a European Australian Toastmaster and see what differences also are there that I might be able to bring back. So it's kind of interesting when you think about that there was clearly a feeling that you had there too, Gabriel, that like, I want some more of this. And so you came and you found some more in our club. That's really
Yeah, yes, totally. Actually, as I told you, it was like 2 years ago. And when I was in the session, these words or this dynamic of the session was sort of refreshing and saying like, yeah, I used to like a lot this. So yeah,
okay.
Toastmaster is nice. I want to join.
Okay, great. And Pascal, what brought you to Toastmasters?
Yeah, word of mouth, like you said, David. I think that's a very important thing to actually make advertisements. And I got it from, because I'm as a self-employed, I'm in another business network, and we meet each other on a regular basis. And I was at some of the colleagues, like some of in Americas, they talked about that they were years in Toastmasters. And I heard about like 2 or 3 different people of the whole world who were talking about Toastmasters. So I got interested in what it was exactly. And I first joined one as a guest during COVID, but that was, of course, a complete different thing because it was only online. So then since 2020, time passed by. And a month ago or 1 month ago, another person told me as well that this person was a long time in Toastmasters. And it was for me, again, the a sign from I should go there and be a guest.
Wonderful. And was that person a long-time member of our club, 551, or just
No,
someone else in your
completely.
network?
Again, that was another person from the
Toastmasters.
States, from a completely other side of the world.
Yeah, wonderful.
And I wanted to be in an international one. I wanted to be in an English one. So then I just Googled and I found 2 chapters in Vienna. And I looked at the time schedule. I looked where they were. Good. And then I just went to 551 and I stayed there.
So we were lucky enough to score you then, Pascal. That's great. Could have been a different club. And I guess that's also an interesting point, that when we advertise the dates and times or months of the week, months of the days of the month and the times, that's really important on your website to give you, in this case, that indication, right, this fits with my schedule. I'd like to turn up then. So if you have to go back and forth with emails, when's your meeting? Can I make it? If it's not clearly stated, that could be a challenge, which is great. So we really welcome you in that sense. Elizabeth, you said you came as a guest first, but what brought you before coming as a guest to Toastmasters? Was it also word of mouth or previous experience?
In fact, I follow a YouTube channel, and it's called the School of Greatness. And the host talks a lot about the Toastmasters. He said that he was there for several years, and it was when he learned about public speaking, and he learned a lot of things. He always recommends a lot the Toastmasters. So that was my first impression. And then when I came here, a friend of my husband happens to be the president or director. He's Mario Giraldo. So then it's why he explained to me the whole process. So it's why I went.
Yes. Mario is one of our former presidents of the club from a few years ago. So that's wonderful. And that's good that even though a person may be less active in the club, they're still out there promoting that. Of course. And I know the School of Greatness podcast and the host there. I didn't realize he was a Toastmaster. Alan, also the comedian, is also a famous Toastmaster of the past. So, I mean, there are many Toastmasters, people around the world making a difference. But whether you're famous or not, it's really about your own personal development. And I guess each of you, had a reason to come. So I want to ask you, what helped? It may be a personal reason, it may be the club environment, but what made you decide to join? What was it that helped your decision in terms of coming to Toastmasters? Elizabeth, you go first this time.
When I went to the club first time as a guest, I felt it was very beautiful, the whole environment, and I felt very like in a safe space and lovely space to dare to talk and to do there what I usually don't do in other environments. So I thought that it was great to be there, and it's why I just decided to stay.
Okay, so the atmosphere, the culture of the club. Yeah, good. Pascal, for you?
For me, on one hand, is a professionalism that you can see, because for me, it's important if you present something that you get a feedback, but the feedback on different kind of levels. Also on if you use some words, how your grammatical is, how your gestures are, everything. So that was for me a beautiful thing to see. And on the other hand, what I also like is to be more flexible. So the whole table topic and everything, which ad hoc you need to present within 20 seconds. That was also something which I said that's a good thing where I can improve myself, right? This is one thing. This is like the facts, figures and facts. And then besides of that, you have, of course, everything which has to do with the emotions, with how the different members are getting along with each other. And I felt that there's like also kind of a family feeling there. So that was also something where I said this is also a good chapter for me where I think I can fit in very well.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so feeling like a family, a nice, and the feedback you mentioned, I think that, of course, is part of most, if not all, clubs of Toastmasters, that feedback. But it's the quality of the evaluation too that can set a club apart. Gabriel, what about your feelings as to why you decided to join?
Well, it's likewise. To be honest, the main driver back then was professional. I wanted to improve the public speaking skills. But when I was there, it was not only professional, but also personal, because when you are there and when you start to learn how to give and how to receive feedback, you realize the quality, the respect, the integrity, everything is not only professional, at least in my experience. So it was sort of this combination. And likewise, you make great connections because people tend to be nice and they will help you as much as possible, at least in my own experience. So I could say that professional and personal, that's why I joined, and that's why I rejoin again, and I look forward to keep here.
Yeah. It really is a learning by doing environment, as I'm sure you're coming to see. And some of us, like I'm a professional voice coach and a former opera singer, but that's not everybody's background. And so we're all there to learn and to grow. When I joined, I hadn't developed my own business as yet, as you have done, Pascal, but I was in the growth phase. And so I really needed a network. I came from Australia. I knew nobody. We knew we could stay because my wife had an opportunity for work in our case. We were already married as well. And so it became evident, I need to do something. I need to push into a new area where I don't know many people, or I might be able to use my networks and influence as well. And so yeah, Toastmasters came to my mind as something to go and do. And of course, for singing and speaking, there's a link as well. And of course, for each of you, I think in your professional work, of course, it's going to have a strong influence on that. And it started, I think, too, with our membership induction. As I mentioned before in the slides, in our club, as the VPE and with our VPM, we make sure that new members, as you are our newest, were inducted. And you read a pledge, we read a pledge. The question I want to ask you is, how did that make you feel? And you can be honest if it felt, embarrassing, a little bit weird, maybe. But if it gave you a sense of something, I'd like to know from you now. So, Gabrielle, how did you feel when you were inducted into our club?
Well, good question, David. But to be honest, to read this pledge and to make it with the fellow members, make you belong, or make it strong, this belonging, this commitment. I felt like a commitment, not only because of the words, but because of the time given to this special moment, to the pin, and yeah, to put it proudly, like I am Toastmasters member. So to be honest, that was something special. The music, the moment, the pledge. So yeah, in my opinion, or for me, it was an experience of commitment and belonging. This attached feeling.
Yeah, wonderful. And Pascal, what about you?
Yeah, besides what Gabriel said, beside of commitment, also respect. For me, it's something, because it's like an honoring the new members, but it's also honoring the new members are also honoring the existing members. So it's like starting the communication and the connection with each other.
Yeah.
And what I found interesting, because as we mentioned at the beginning, we all are 2 weeks old or young. So it was interesting that we were staying there in front with 3 of us, which was like, and yeah, it was funny reading it together, right?
Yes. We a bit like some sort of religious ceremony or a rite of passage there we made you read. Yeah, absolutely. Elizabeth, how did you feel?
I felt great. I love it. It was completely new for me, and but I enjoyed the moment, and it was a special ceremony to get committed to this new process. So it was really nice.
So it's really marking the start of your journey as Toastmasters. And in our club, we do take it seriously, as for the reasons that you've all said. And we feel that it's something that I remember doing 8 years ago, nearly, when I was inducted, and everyone clapped and there was the pledge. And so we keep some of these traditions alive as well, because it also helps to create that culture within the club, that you are welcome, that you are wanted, and that you can now continue to play your part in your own journey and in the journey of others. It may be 2 weeks more from now that we induct some more members or other new people, and you remember that first experience that you had. So as one final question, I'd like to ask each of you, where do you want to go on your Toastmasters journey? In my own example, I needed a network, and I wanted to see what Toastmasters was about, because I'd been a singer, but could it compare to speaking, and what was the connection? And for another episode, I've since found out. But your journeys are unique, and where you're going is very individual. So I'd like to, even if maybe you don't know, so there's no pressure. It's not a table topic question. But think of it as your chance to look back on this recording, in a year's time.
Yeah.
Maybe we have you back on and say, hey, how are you going with that? Yeah. So Pascal, would you like to go first this time?
Well, yeah, I just signed in for the Pathway presentation mastery, right? And the second one I want to do is the comedy, this one, which is also a presentation, which I want to improve. And my goal is to be TEDx speaker. That's it.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, Toastmasters will help you on the way to TEDx. And I'm sure if you get involved in some district events, you'll actually meet some others who are TEDx speakers who started and maybe still continue as Toastmasters. That's great. Yeah, we wish you well there. Elizabeth, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I'm still discovering all the possibilities that we have here. And personally, I want to develop this skill. Is very, very important for me because I want to share a very important message, and I want to share my gifts with the world. And so I need to be very persuasive, or
Persuasive, yeah.
yes, and to be a great communicator in order to be effective with my message.
Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful. Well, you pick up some great communication skills, learning by doing, learning by watching too.
Yeah.
Learning by listening, we often experience in Toastmasters. And Gabrielle, to finish us off, where will your journey take you?
Wow. Well, to be honest, I would like to. The core for me is to keep improving, because the more that you are in Toastmasters, or the more sessions that you attend, you learn more, and that's something that I like a lot. Whenever I think like, oh, okay, this is a really good point, and so keep improving. I think that it will be for the longest the journey it is for me. And now that Pascal said, once a couple of years ago, I was reading, I like to see these TED shows, and I project myself like doing one of them. And actually, it was linked to why I joined Masterlight in Mexico. And yes, Pascal, I share with you this wish to maybe once or a couple of times make a TED show, and to have this skill to speak and to share a message for so many people. I think that's the aim of being in Toastmasters and my journey.
Wonderful. And if honest, we don't have to wait for TEDx. We can just craft and polish our amazing speeches, and then, start our own channel, the Toastmasters Vienna Club 551, conference channel. Who knows where we can take that? But you're right. Improvement is a huge part of your own journey, but also seeing the way others improve. So as your VPE, I really do hope to help you along your way for the remainder of this year in my term, but also to be part of our club and to continue your journey as Toastmasters and really find your unique selling points, not only as people gaining from Toastmasters, but then how you find your way to give through finance, through helping with toxic personalities, through working in procurement and logistics. You all have something to offer, and I think that's really wonderful. So thanks for appearing tonight on Breaking News. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Pascal,
Thanks so much,
Gabrielle, and Elizabeth.
Thank you, David.
Thank you,
David.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
So you heard from 3 of our newest Toastmasters of Club Vienna 551, and maybe you have Toastmasters in your clubs who have similar experiences. Find out more about what they're doing. How are they feeling? How are you bringing them into your culture and climate of your particular club? And how can they continue and enhance their journey? So we wish our Toastmasters well. As you know, with Breaking News, we are looking for anchors and reporters. We have had Laura Filippi, our PR manager in Italian, but I'm sure she'd like to do other things. And so if you are Italian, Bulgarian, French, Macedonian, Slovenian, or Maltese speaking, we would like to hear from you. We'd really like to think about how we can expand the diversity of this channel and really make sure that we cater to all of you. English is just one language of our district, not an official one, but we do have many of these languages. And so we want to hear from you. So please reach out to our email address, d109prm@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to get in touch with you, have a discovery call, and see what you can contribute and bring to Breaking News, not only for our maybe last 2 episodes of 2022, but also looking now at 2023. Let's have a look at tomorrow's weather, where in Thessaloniki, it's 19 degrees, sunny with cloud. Ankara, it's 19 and cloudy. Jerusalem is warmer, 23 degrees, sunny with cloud. In Ljubljana, it's a high of 8 degrees. It's quite cool there. In Nicosia, it's 25, sunny and cloudy, as is in Rome, 17, sunny and cloudy. In Sofia, 8, showers. In Birkirkara, 20 and cloudy. In my city of Vienna, it's only 7 degrees, better than the 0 that it's been over the weekend, if quite honest, but also a little bit of sunshine and cloud. And in Zurich, finally there, it's 8 degrees, sunny and cloudy. So this has been another episode of of Breaking News across our District 109. So please get in touch with us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for watching.